Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie, and in today's video we are going to be talking about hair porosity. If you're new here, hi, please make sure to subscribe and join the family. And if you're not new here, thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for coming back once more. Hair porosity is the hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. It is broken down into three categories, namely low porosity, medium or normal porosity, and high porosity. Low porosity hair doesn't easily absorb moisture, but when it does finally absorb the moisture, it retains it for an extended amount of time. Normal porosity hair absorbs moisture easily and doesn't easily lose the moisture, while high porosity hair easily absorbs moisture, but it loses the moisture as fast as it absorbs it, if not faster. Hair porosity is determined by the cuticle, which is the outermost layer of the hair shaft. In low hair porosity, the cuticle are very close to each other. They're tightly bound, so that's what makes it difficult for moisture to be absorbed. In normal hair porosity, the hair cuticle are less tightly bound, while in high hair porosity, the cuticle are spread apart and they're really open. So that is what makes it easy for high hair porosity to absorb moisture and lose moisture just as fast. It's important for you to know your hair porosity because it helps you to know how to better layer your products and how to moisturize your hair properly. Low porosity hair needs a lot of moisture, but it's quite difficult for the moisture to get in because the cuticles are so tightly bound. So the best products to use for low porosity hair are very lightweight liquidy products which can easily penetrate the hair cuticle. The reason why you shouldn't use heavy products on light porosity hair is because since the cuticles are so tightly bound, it will be very difficult for moisture to be absorbed if the products are thick or heavy. But with liquidy products, the hair cuticle could easily absorb those. If you use heavy products on low porosity hair, they are just going to sit on the hair, causing product buildup, and your hair will not be moisturized or get any moisture absorption. In order to properly take care of low porosity hair, these are some of the things you should do. Now, the first thing you'll need to do is to invest in a good clarifying shampoo or apple cider, which helps to cleanse and clarify your hair. This is because low porosity hair is very prone to product buildup since, as we said previously, the cuticles are tight. So you want to really clean your hair properly in order to allow for new products to be able to enter your hair. If you don't properly cleanse your hair, it will be difficult to get new products in. It's just going to build up and your hair will not be moisturized. Next tip is to invest in a good moisturizing deep conditioner because this will help your hair to better absorb moisture while you're washing it. So the deep conditioner is like the first moisture base. After you've clarified your hair, you've actually stripped it of some of its moisture, so you would have to balance that up by using a really good deep conditioner which will help to moisturize and strengthen the hair. And while deep conditioning is equally good for you to use some sort of heat, or use a plastic cap because heat helps to open the hair cuticles. So if you apply some heat, like maybe if you get under a steamer or a hot cap or maybe a hair dryer while your hair is wrapped in a plastic cap, it's going to help open your hair cuticles and allow for moisture to get in. For the same reason, you should use warm water instead of cold water to wash your hair because cold water is going to close your hair cuticles, making it tight, and moisture won't be able to get into your hair. So it's advisable you use warm water in order to open up your hair cuticles. People with low porosity hair often tend to use the LCO method of moisturizing, and LCO simply stands for liquid-based product or leave-in conditioner, cream, and oil. And this simply means that after you've washed your hair, you start by using a liquid-based product or a leave-in conditioner to moisturize. Then you add a cream on top of it, and the cream also supplies moisture to the hair, and then you use an oil to seal in that moisture. So it is basically moisture seal because we are trying to keep all of that moisture in the hair. When we're talking about oils, we don't mean hair grease. A lot of people tend to get confused between hair oil and hair grease. So when we're talking about hair oils, we mean like liquidy oils, light oils like jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, olive oil. Those are the oils we mean, and those are the oils that are actually best for natural hair, especially low porosity hair. You want to use light oils like almond oil, jojoba oil, and grapeseed oil. If you have low porosity hair, you want to avoid frequent use of products with high protein content, and you equally want to reduce the frequency at which you do protein treatments. Now, let me break this down. The hair is made up of a really strong protein called keratin, and this can be broken down when you style your hair often, when you use heat tools, when you manipulate your hair a lot, and when your hair is exposed to damaging factors like heat, sun, pollution, and just harsh climates. Protein treatments are done to add strength and resilience to damaged hair by adding hydrolyzed protein to the hair follicle, which helps to harden the hair cuticle layer. So if there are holes in the hair cuticle, a protein treatment will help to fill those holes and gaps and place a protective barrier on the shaft in order to prevent further damage and breakage. Some hair treatment masks or protein treatments include the ORS hair mayonnaise and the Cantu deep treatment mask. Some people equally do DIY protein treatments where they mix avocado, egg yolk, and some oils, or banana, rice water. Those are some forms of protein treatments which people DIY and use. The reason why I said people with low porosity hair should not use protein treatments frequently is because you see the protective barrier we spoke about earlier closes the hair cuticles. It closes those gaps and holes in the hair cuticle. So people with low porosity hair already have very tight cuticles, meaning they don't have gaps and holes to close. So if you're using a protein treatment often, you're further closing the hair cuticles, and your hair will not be able to absorb moisture. This is going to make your hair dry and brittle, and your hair will break. And you think you're helping your hair by doing frequent protein treatments, but you're actually damaging your hair, and your hair is going to break and just fall off. So that is why people with low porosity hair should, I'm not saying you should not do protein treatments, but you should keep your protein treatments at the minimum. You could do it once a month or once every 6 weeks. That makes sense. That's depending on the protein sensitivity levels of your hair. You would know that by using protein treatments and seeing how your hair reacts to them. Normal or medium hair porosity tends to hold moisture, shine, and style. If you have normal medium hair porosity, your hair will be really shiny, really moisturized, and whichever style you do on your hair is going to last and really look good. But the problem with medium hair porosity is that it's not permanent. That's not a permanent state of your hair. It could change based on how you treat your hair. It could change based on how much heat you use on your hair or how much harsh chemicals you put on your hair. So it could change, and your hair cuticles might open wider and make your hair high porosity hair. So if you have normal or medium hair porosity, you want to stay away from heat, from excessive heat and harsh chemicals, so that your hair doesn't turn into high porosity hair. That's like the balance of both hair porosities, and that's the midpoint. Now moving on to high porosity hair. High porosity hair has wide cuticles. It is filled with holes and gaps, and the hair tends to get a lot frizzy. It tends to get a lot of frizz, and it isn't shiny. It tends to appear a little dull, and it loses moisture fast, so it's often really dry. In order to properly moisturize high porosity hair, it's important to use the lock or LOC method as opposed to the LCO method, because we are trying to priority is to seal in that moisture. So we use the leave-in to moisturize, the oil to seal, and then we use the cream to moisturize further. If you have high porosity hair, a must-have product is a leave-in conditioner because it really helps to get moisture into your hair. So guys, do you remember how we just spoke about protein treatments being bad for low porosity hair because they tend to fill holes and gaps, and low porosity hair doesn't have those? Well, high porosity hair has a lot of holes and gaps to be filled. So if you have high porosity hair, you want to do frequent protein treatments. You want to use proteins and protein-based products to just fill those gaps and create those protective barriers, because your hair needs those gaps to be filled in order to reduce the gaps in the hair cuticles and help you to better retain moisture. A good interval to do your protein treatments is every 2 weeks, and the weeks when you're not using protein treatments on your hair, you could use a good moisturizing deep conditioner to just add moisture to your hair. If you have high hair porosity, it is important for you to stay away from heat. Stay away from heat, stay away from hot water on your hair. You just need to stay away from everything that is hot getting on your hair, because your hair cuticles are already very open. We don't need to open them further. We're trying to close those gaps on hair cuticles with protein treatments, and you don't need to open them further, because if you open them further, they're just going to be damaged hair. They'll just be like really damaged. So you should stay away from harsh chemicals and hot water or heat sources when deep conditioning your hair. If you're wondering how do I know my hair porosity in the first place, I've got you covered, okay? So there are 2 ways to find out your hair porosity level. And the first method is by taking out a strand of your hair. Now you need to do this on clean hair, because if your hair is dirty, it's going to impact the results. It's going to affect the results negatively. So you want to use clean hair. So you get a clean hair strand and put in a transparent cup of water or a glass of water, whichever you prefer. Put in a cup of water and let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes. And if your hair is still floating on the surface, then you have low porosity hair. If your hair is somewhere around the middle, you have normal porosity hair. And if your hair just sinks straight to the bottom, you have high porosity hair. The other method is to grab a strand of your hair and glide your fingers through. If the hair feels smooth, if the shaft feels smooth, then you have low porosity hair. And if you just feel bumps and obstructions as you're going up the strand, then you have high porosity hair. And if they're not too many, but they are somewhat there, they're present, then you have medium or normal porosity hair. So guys, if you've been watching up to this stage, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or remarks, share it with us in the comment section. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do well to subscribe, join the family, hit that red subscribe button and the notification bell. It's completely free. And thank you guys once again, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.